skies of New York. You got to check this out. It's like something out of a sci-fi movie. A transformer explosion at a power plant in Queens gave New Yorkers an unexpected light show last night. The explosion lit up the sky, it shook buildings, rattled windows, sent people running into the streets. The blast causing part of LaGuardia Airport, one of the nation's busiest airports, to lose power. Terrified travelers scrambling to safety as the eerie sky glowed just outside the window.
Thought it was fireworks going off, and I looked to my right and I saw just the yellow sparks in the sky. It looked like blue fire.
You look in the sky and it was bright blue. It was insane. It was a really weird blue color too. I was like, aliens are here.
Well, even though some thought it was the beginning of Armageddon, no one was hurt.
Good thing.
This is a call for an uprising. Welcome to today's show. Most of you have heard already about the blue skies that lit up New York City, Manhattan skyline, which we were told was from a power plant explosions. Now, lots of videos surfaced of mysterious lights going off in the sky beforehand. What some would say is a UFO, but really this is our government using their type of technology or what they would call space-type technology against us to deceive people. Because remember, nobody would ever think the government would be doing anything to us. And this is more Project Bluebeam, right in front of our faces. Remember, they have to test Project Bluebeam. They can't just roll something like this out without testing it. And where are they going to be able to test it in the sky other than, we know that they've tested this stuff out in the deserts of Nevada, right? And that's why you hear all that stuff. That's the reason for the aliens. That's the place, right? Area 51 or whatever they have out there. And everybody thinks, oh, that's where the aliens come and go. And it's because they do all the testing out there. All the CIA experimentation in the sky and all that stuff is done out there so people can't see it, right? But this right here has Bluebeam written all over it. You can even see laser, if you look at some other footage that's out there, which doesn't seem doctored, you can see what looks like beams coming out of the sky shooting down at the power plant. And of course, what stories come out immediately after this, right? Is it aliens? Was it an alien invasion? Instant deflection, instant, take your mind off of what really could be going on. Why would a power plant explosion cause the skies to be so blue? Why were there so much mysterious blinking and all this stuff in the sky? Because the people out there, you even heard in the news clip, right? I thought it was, an alien invasion. Then all these mainstream outlets write articles, the Washington Post, you name it, New York Post, New York Times. And they all have, interview cops and they go, can you promise us it wasn't an alien invasion? Okay, the alien invasion is all part of the deception. Need I remind you of the multiple times that Ronald Reagan has talked about an alien invasion? Talking about how it would take an attack from an outside force to get all human beings together as one. Remember, the goal is to get everybody together as one. One religion, one currency, one everything. The Tower of Babel restructured. A one world order. That is what the new world order is. That's why you hear all this love and all this stuff I constantly talk about and warn everybody about, which is, the coming of the Antichrist and all this deception that you see going on. But nonetheless, the whole mind control movement of the alien attack, this has all been planned from the get-go. That's why every month there's a new movie since the 1940s, 1950s, whenever movies started, about alien invasions. You think some guy just came up with it? It was like, hey, maybe there's planets out there and there's aliens and, oh yeah, and then they roll out the fake moon landing and all this stuff that we get taught in school about planets, all this nonsense. This is all part of a new world order plan. This is a massive mind control manipulation. But you can hear the numerous times that Ronald Reagan, numerous times, has talked about it. He didn't just improvise it in a speech. He said it over and over. Look at the repetition of how many times he said it would take an outside force to cause everyone to unite as human beings, right? To become one. Listen for yourself.
I couldn't help at one point in my discussions privately with General Secretary Gorbachev, when you stop to think that we're all God's children, wherever we may live in the world, I couldn't help but say to him, just think how easy his task and mine might be in these meetings that we held if suddenly there was a threat to this world from some other species from another planet outside in the universe, we'd forget all the little local differences that we have between our countries, and we would find out once and for all that we really are all human beings here on this earth together. Well, I don't suppose we can wait for some alien race to come down and threaten us, but I think that between us we can bring about that realization. In our obsession with antagonisms of the moment, we often forget how much unites all the members of humanity. Perhaps we need some outside universal threat to make us recognize this common bound. I occasionally think how quickly our differences worldwide would vanish if we were facing an alien threat from outside this world. And yet, I ask you, is not an alien force already among us? What could be more alien to the universal aspirations of our peoples than war and the threat of war? I think maybe I'd answer it this way. I keep, in my frustration sometimes, you know, actually, if you count some of the things going on in smaller countries and all, there have been about 114 wars since World War II. But I've often wondered, what if all of us in the world discovered that we were threatened by a power from outer space, from another planet? Wouldn't we all of a sudden find that we didn't have any differences between us at all? We were all human beings, citizens of the world, and wouldn't we come together to fight that particular threat?
Okay, so for those of you who don't know about Project Bluebeam, it's going to be a sky show. You know, there's a lot of different theories of people believe where, you know, there's going to be a god, they're going to use a fake thing to reveal, you know, a fake god, the Antichrist to everyone, and everyone's going to bow down. You know, some don't believe that aspect of it. They believe that it's just going to be a fake alien invasion when it's our own government using, you know, our own weapons that we've allowed them to create and get away with, you know, on our own people, and say that it's an alien attack. Because remember, you know, I say this all the time about aliens and all this stuff not being real, demons being real. People don't understand. They're like, well, I've seen a UFO before. Maybe you have, but that's not a UFO from Mars. That's a UFO from your own government. What you would think was a UFO, because they've convinced you that that's what a UFO looks like, something that doesn't look like a regular military plane. So your mind instantly thinks, oh, that's got to be an alien. Look, it's in the shape of a circle, and there's no way. Why? Because they haven't rolled it out and told you that they have it. They've told you that if you ever see that kind of a thing in the sky, it's an alien, right? And then they roll all of this technology out, and everybody thinks it's an alien invasion, right? The stupidity of society to believe all this stuff. Because they've been told through the movies, aliens and all this stuff are real. They've been told in school that, oh, there could be life on other planets and NASA and all this crap. It's all part of the deception, right? And again, it makes me pull my hair out to think how people go, well, there's no proof that God existed. There's no proof that Jesus existed. There's nothing but proof, actually. And a lot of these areas where, you know, things have occurred, biblical things have occurred, have been hidden by them. In Saudi Arabia, all these places over in the Middle East, they've been hidden, right? Yet people believe that aliens have been here. There's no sign of one. Just like, I mean, I'm not even going to get on a rant about it, okay? But what I believe with the blue skies in Manhattan is just more testing, right? Because the propaganda that comes out after is where you really read between the lines, right? Could it have been a power plant? Oh, sure. I mean, I doubt it. You know, people are like, oh, come on, you know, really could be. I mean, really? Like that lit up the sky blue? Really? Why is it blue? Oh, because, you know, this type of chemical was, oh, right. Right, and look at all of the raw footage that other people are taking with their cell phones, or you could see the sky lighting up and things like that. And you're telling me we're supposed to believe that narrative. And then, of course, what is the narrative talking about, right? The narrative immediately is deflecting off. You know, there's no talk ever of, could our government be doing something in the skies? No talk ever, right? They go immediately to aliens, right? And then they interview police officers. Oh, you promised us there's not, I mean, give me a break, right? So this is more Project Bluebeam testing, more Project Bluebeam preparation. Okay, they're going to roll it out at some point in time. You know they're going to, because they're not stopping with the propaganda with the alien invasions. I mean, how many alien movies do we need to see? And people actually believe it's real because they've seen so many movies, they think it's real. It's insanity. This is your government going against its people to form a new world order, a one world government, a one world under the eye of Lucifer, where people will bow down to the Antichrist. Don't be deceived by stuff. I thank you for listening to today's show. Let me know what you think about the blue beams in the sky. God bless all of you and your families.